this episode's gonna be dumb and weird, and I have nothing to talk about, and Zero's being quiet because this babby.
There's my nearly 2-year-old nephew sleeping in the room next to where I usually record.
That still counts as babby.
So he is Babby. I do not want to wake him because if I wake him, then there will be hell to pay.
Nobody has.
Oh my gosh. What? Sorry. A
Nobody
thing popped
has
up.
time for whatever that was.
I don't know. This is a random thing just popped up on my phone. I'm gonna close it and put it away over there so it doesn't happen.
That would be a fun, if terrible, outcome for all of this. Is you spend all this effort, like, okay, I've got to be very careful not to wake Babby. I've just got to make sure all of. I just move into another room, and everything's fine. Then you fucking and wakes up the baby anyway.
Yeah, I didn't realize, like, I thought he was already napped, and I started, like, hammering a nail into my wall, and I get a text being like, "Can you please stop hammering? He's trying to sleep." And I'm like, "Oh, I thought he already slept." But, what you gonna do?
Hmm.
So, yeah, um, we missed last week, if I recall.
Yeah, but somehow an episode still came out. It's weird like that.
Yeah, you just kind of released them whenever now.
I mean, in fairness, that one was scheduled in advance of, like, yeah, I uploaded the episode before that, like, a week late. So I was like, okay, I have two episodes here. So I'm going to upload, and then I can schedule the next one for a week later. And that works. Yay. Being responsible a week. That's cool.
I suppose so. Um, I think that we are still gonna be having some good stuff to talk about because um I did I've now taught my first week of the second year of me teaching fourth grade.
Yay. Yay?
And yay.
Yay.
It turns out when you're much more experienced with dealing with certain behaviors and things that might or may not happen in the classroom, it's a lot easier to be like, here's the expectations. Here's what happens if you follow them, the good stuff. Here's what happens if you don't follow them, the bad stuff, and enforcing that from like day one. That's kind of huge.
Hmm.
Now, it also was like I'm supposed to have 32 kids that I'm teaching. Four of them have not shown up at all yet,
Hmm.
which helps. I know one of them for sure dropped and is actually not showing up at all. Two of them aren't even in the state yet. And the last one probably is going to leave as well. And if that happens, that brings me down to 30 students, which is what I had last year,
Huh.
which is nice because I only have supplies for 30 students.
You said this was fourth grade.
Yes, they are 9 years old.
How is it that a fourth grader goes truant?
It's more like because I work at a charter school, um, if the student will like sign up for it and they're put on the register, like the register for the roster, they can still go to a public school and just not inform us that they did that.
Sounds inconvenient.
Oh, it is. So it's like as a general rule of thumb, if we don't hear from you in the first like 4 days and you're gone, you're just dropped. Because like there's
Rule
a wait list.
rule of thumb in this case being like, okay, you know where two of them are at least, and things are happening. Just they're doing the best, kind of thing, is what it sounds like.
Yeah,
Yeah.
two of them communicated, so those two are still gonna be in, right?
Hmm.
It's just they're coming in a week late. Um, but the other two have not communicated, so likely dropping. And so it's been like really fun getting to like set that all up, get to meet them. I know all their names now, which is shockingly fast, I know, but you're with these kids for like 8 hours, you're gonna know their names by the end of the first couple days. Very different from like if you're teaching middle school because they have periods where you have a kid for like 50 minutes. You have a group of kids, and then another group comes in,
Yeah, it's like
and
subject
another.
teaching rather than just being a general teacher.
Yeah, which means you have like 150 names to remember. You're not gonna remember all those. But with just 30 kids, you're like, okay, okay, I know who that is. Okay, I know who that is. I know who that is. So, Yeah. First week down overall went pretty smooth. I sprained my ankle though in a kind of great start to the year. While sitting at my classroom before school started, I stepped off a chair weirdly, rolled my ankle in the lamest way possible, and sprained my ankle. And I was sitting on a chair to set up a board at the high wall. But anyway,
Let's hear it for
sprained
being
my
in your
ankle.
30s. Woo! Whoop whoop.
Yep. Broke
Yeah.
my glasses as
Oh,
well.
God.
Completely separate to that. Sent them to get repaired. Then broke my backup glasses. And now those are being repaired.
Sounds like a terrible, horrible, no good, very bad day.
Yeah, except it was a not just one day, but
Something,
um
something, rule of threes. I hate that.
yeah. So, um I can hear the baby. He's awake now. This is all for nothing. Um yeah. Mhm. Mm. Keep my composure. Uh, hold on. He's trying to come in here now. Okay. He hears my voice and he's running all over. Okay, so yeah, teaching is all well and good. Room is all nice and set up. I got like book stands and everything for like the books to show off some of the books we're gonna be reading, and a whole little classroom library section, and looks really good. Looks professional.
Hmm.
Looks way better than the mess that I had my first year of teaching, which was um oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. I only have a weekend to get this thing set up.
Shit.
And yeah,
I
go
don't
on.
think I've heard you swear so casually ever.
Yeah, yeah.
That was weird.
I know. I um this might have something to do with the fact that last night for D&D I was playing a character who cursed a whole bunch.
Okay.
Um
Oh,
and
oh my
it was
god,
meant to
D&D
be
is
funny.
corrupting the youth. The 80s, uh,
Yeah,
they were right.
I've just kind of I've let go of some of my inhibitions, I guess, as I've gotten older.
Next thing we know, you're gonna be smoking jazz cigarettes and, uh,
No,
no, okay.
no, never that. Time for that. I'm never smoking. Never. Like that's just don't want anything to do with that.
Hmm.
Um, because my grandma smokes all the time, and now she's having to stop because um, the in-house helper who helps her out is quitting because she cannot stand the stench of smoke in the
Hmm.
house because of how powerful it is. Because she doesn't go outside to smoke because grandma does not like to go outside. So that's what happens.
Hmm.
Let's see. Um, uh, I was gonna say, I saw, aside from like work stuff and work doing good, aside from what's going up next, um, I saw K-pop Demon Hunter.
Yeah, I thought that was a show. Apparently, it's a movie.
It's a movie. I thought it was a show too. And be
Hmm.
real. We were having our meeting, with the other teachers in my team, and we were supposed to be doing lesson plans, and it brought up that like some of the teachers on my team were singing lyrics from the songs from that show, and I was like, I've never seen that show. I'm like, you need to watch it. That's your homework. Go.
Hey.
And I'm like, okay, okay. Um, and because I won a competition that my work was holding. It was like a Kahoot quiz thing over um work rules and stuff. Um, I won it, and my team won, so I got like a $50 gift card to Olive Garden. So I thought, you know what? My friend from high school is celebrating his 30th birthday. He left the country with his family, but I never got the chance to do anything with him. I'll take him out to Olive Garden. And I do that, and Olive Garden, their red sauce tastes like it came out of a can, probably because it did, but the calamari was good. And I tell him about this, and I'm like, yeah, no, they want me to watch K-pop Demon Hunter. And he's like, oh, I'll watch it with you. I'll watch that. And uh, he loves K-pop. Like he's super into K-pop. I'm like, okay. So I guess I'm watching K-pop Demon Hunter.
Hmm.
And it's a movie. Shocking, I know. But it tells a complete story. It's really well animated and well made, and yeah, I understand why people are really digging it.
Hmm.
The entire premise is that there's always been like these three sort of demon hunters that to defeat the demons and seal them away with their voice through the power of song and also like magic swords and spears and stuff. And it's now fallen onto these three idols who have to attempt to compete against a demon boy band to save the people from becoming food for demons, is kind
Okay.
of the general premise. But there's a lot more to it, a lot more interesting stuff with the characters and stuff that I don't want to really, I guess, spoil because when I'm first watching, I'm like, man, this seems like first 20, 30 minutes are just like, this seems like it's really fast paced. And then you get to the twist of like what it's actually really about. And it's very personal, character driven story. And I really liked it. So that gets the thumbs up of approval and recommendation for me.
It's weird how this evil boy band trope seems to just come up every now and again.
Yeah.
I feel like that's a thing that just sort of shows up and everyone's like, yeah, that makes sense. Just every single time. Like, it can be decades apart. But it's just like, yeah, demon boy band. Yeah, that checks out. Evil boy band. Shilling for the army. Yeah, that makes sense. That's totally, yeah.
Yeah. Um, so
Ivan.
Oh, one other thing. I went to the doctor about my sprain, and he says you have to wear this boot for 6 weeks. It gives me this heavy like Velcro monstrosity that I have to wear. The same sort of boot that you wear if you like break your leg, but it's not like a full-on cast.
Mm.
It's like a minor for like minor breaks and sprains, minor breaks or major sprains, I guess. But it's not even a major sprain. Honestly, I can walk around pretty okay. I just don't want to risk injuring it. So I'm lugging around this big old boot everywhere I go. And my new classroom is on the third floor. So, um,
Mm.
not a big deal if I'm just going by myself because it's an elevator, but I have to walk with my class whenever we leave the classroom, which means I have to go downstairs. I can't just man my class, which has resulted in some interesting new techniques to try to avoid destroying my ankle. And I end each day with like, oh my friggin' feet hurt so much from trying to stairs with this thing. So, bit of a minor IRL inconvenience, I guess. Um, I say minor, but it hurts like a bitch. I'm doing it. I'm swearing casually. Oh no. Oh no, what has become of me?
It's unsettling.
Yeah, yeah, I guess.
I'll get used to it.
Um, my FF14 group, we made our own free company, and that's going well. Gotta wait like a month until we can get our own FC house again because we had to jump ship from the old free company. So hopefully we can get a new one soon. There was a 14 patch that came out as well. Um, it's the last of the major like story patches that have to do with Dawn Trail stuff.
Mm. Yeah,
Pretty good,
I
actually.
guess the next couple will be setting up for the next expansion.
Yeah, basically, that's how it goes. I think that the patch quests are really good and do a lot to add on to. I think the story's really solid, and they're trying some new different things. Like there's an entire part where they decide to add in a puzzle dungeon of sorts. It's not like a full-on dungeon you go in with a party, but rather while you're going through the story and exploring, you have to kind of investigate the area and solve some puzzles. And that's like a really fun, different thing that they haven't done in the story in a long time of trying out new ideas like that. So that's rather refreshing. New boss is great, music's great. I like the new dungeon, and I need to get that new PvP top, so I'm gonna be doing a lot of PvP because it's just the outfit's good. I like the outfit. I want to look cool. That's it. Um, there's more stuff coming out with it with the patch with like the different like oh this is 7.3, 7.3.1, point 2, point 3, so on and so forth until you get to 7.4. So I'll probably comment on those when those come out. But for the most part, all good changes. They added a new treasure dungeon, which is fun. It's kind of has a bunch of like little screen guys that work like a slot machine, and you want to get them land on the good slot. It's a different form of presentation, but it's kind of fun. I don't know if you've ever done a have you done Treasure Dungeon stuff, Casey?
Don't think so. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay. In that case, let me explain. So you can get maps through gathering on certain nodes,
Yeah.
and those maps, if you solve those maps, will lead you to a treasure chest.
Yeah.
Um, if it's an eight-man treasure chest, which means it recommends you have a party of eight, when you open it, there's a chance that a portal will appear. When that portal appears, your party can enter it to enter into a special treasure dungeon, in which your goal is to get as much treasure before getting forcibly kicked out, or you make it to the end.
Hmm.
It's entirely random as to whether or not you'll be kicked out or make it to the end. In some cases, it's a like pick a left door or a right door, and one of the doors will take you forward, the other door will send you out of the dungeon. In other cases, it's like spin a roulette wheel and see if it lands on a prize or it lands on you getting kicked out, so on and so forth. It's even if you don't get like um, super huge prizes, like the maximum prizes, it gives out a ton of gold and money and stuff. Like there's items that are unique only to those treasure dungeons, which sell for a ton of gil, as well as just the dungeon itself giving out a ton of gil just by doing it. It's basically one of the best ways to farm money that does not involve abusing the game systems.
Hmm.
Because there are ways to gain money by abusing the game systems, and that's by making a fake free company.
Oh. Okay. I was
In
assuming
which
it would be
case,
like the crafting and thing leave quests or something.
uh, leave quests don't give a lot of money. Crafting and gathering and selling a bunch of items at the start of a new patch is a way to make a lot of money. But a lot of people, what they'll do is they'll acquire multiple fake FCs that use the specific submarines and whatever they call the sky ships.
Hmm.
Those are special systems that only FCs can run, and they have a chance of bringing back very valuable materials. So people basically create guild farms by making shell companies.
Okay.
Yeah, the economy's in shambles there.
Art imitates life, I suppose.
Yeah. But if you're just a regular casual player and you want to get a bunch of money real quick and you get a bunch of friends together, each of you brings at least one map and you do a bunch of maps.
Hmm.
It's fun, everybody wins. So no reason not to, basically, sort of thing. But yeah, they added a new one. And it's really fun. One of the some of the rewards are like, here's this mount that is the exact model of an ad from the recent raid that terrifies people because of how much damage it deals. And it's this little goat guy named Yan. Just a little sheepy goat. Very cute, cartoony. Will hit you for 150,000 damage if it touches you
Hmm.
in the fight. Very, very fun. uh, yeah, so all that aside, I really have been spending a lot of my time through like just professional development, getting ready for work, and getting in the school year, going through curriculum, planning things out. So not a ton to really add on to that. Just we're getting ready for the next week. That's my cue to pass on the talking stick.
Patient. I still have not. Suck.
I don't have a whole lot to go on for the past couple of weeks. Work has been more of the same. Luck goes up and then it goes down, and it fluctuates a bit. My back is hurting again, so I'm going to have to see a chiropractor this week. See about that. After this podcast, I'm probably going to start replaying Pokemon Legends Arceus in preparation for Legends ZA, and I'm still looking forward to that. Not a whole lot else going on with me, to be honest. Just more of the same. Oh, one thing that's noteworthy. My brother's wife's sister gave birth to twins this morning. Twin girls.
Oh, nice.
quite. Yeah. So, to simplify the exact terms, I guess I'm an uncle as a result of that.
Open to being an uncle.
Yeah, we'll see how that goes. Definitely more my brother's thing than mine, but I'm still there. So, but yeah, not a lot else going on.
Okay.
Okay. I have writer's block out the ass. That's a thing we could talk
Yeah.
about. It sucks. Like, really, really bad.
Oh,
I
do
have
you,
3 commissions I am spectacularly behind on. It's just.
is it just
Ah.
kind of burnout or?
I don't know. Maybe on at some level. Um, I'm thinking of pausing my Patreon for the month of September and just taking that as just like, okay, I need to just have a mental reset on all of these things that I'm doing. So I might
I
just put a
think
pause
that,
on that, and a pause is in I don't take money for the month. Set it to stop for the month, and it's just like fine, it skips it. No one has to pay.
yeah.
And we'll use that time to reset on those stories and just sort of, okay, where am I going with these? What am I doing? Because some of them, like half of them, like the ones that actually update the most often are at awkward, like pivot points for the sake of the story, of things are going to divert in terms of where things are going. Like, I have the Code Geass DXD thing, and that's just sort of in the middle of a big battle thing going on, and then the conclusion of that is going to change some stuff from how canon events would go in a more significant way. So I need to plan how to work that out. The God of War and DXD crossover is kind of has gone through a massive shift of that caliber of like, hey, here's how the setting usually works. Fuck that, throw it out the window.
Mm.
Like, for clarification, DXD is a setting that has the quote unquote veil of like, here is like regular people, and then there is the supernatural side that they don't know about. And I just kind of went, yeah, the Greek gods have decided fuck that, so we're gonna just be open and have every single person in the world who has the blood of oracles start just sort of channeling the voice of Apollo so that they speak praise of the gods of Olympus. And just completely out the supernatural for the entire world, and everyone has to scramble and like figure out how they're dealing with that. Which was a very
Okay.
fun turn for that story and setting of just like, okay, yeah, no, everyone knows about the supernatural now, and everyone's kind of freaking the fuck out, and everyone's just sort of in a cold war of sorts.
Everyone believes it?
There's not much choice not to. Like, there's like, it's not just oracles and stuff. It is like, because this is kind of how the gods of the setting work, is just they sort of involve themselves in mortal affairs in weird ways. Like, Hermes runs a delivery company, and Hestia has a chain of diners called Waffle Hearth.
I love that. I
Yeah,
love that.
yeah, that was a fun one.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
Yeah, so they're just like there and doing stuff. Aphrodite goes on, let's call it not BBC, and does an interview, and because it's kind of based off of the Hades Aphrodite, she shows up naked. They try to censor her. It does not work.
Oh no.
Yeah, so just a bunch of stuff happens, and then all of the other factions are just like, okay, we need to figure out how to deal with this. The biblical factions have decided, hey, we need to put the veil back up because this is going to be really, really bad for us specifically. It doesn't work, so they kind of have to get in on things too. The Devils are kind of fine. They're just, business as usual, contracts and stuff, and it's a lot easier to find people who want contracts now because there's more people in the know. angels are a bit less direct until the whole Asia thing happens, uh, where she gets excommunicated by the church, and with the angels sort of quietly taking a more direct hand, Gabriel decides, no, fuck all of you. I am going to intervene personally and come down from on high
Oh,
to tell you to shut the fuck up and go away. Leave her alone. So yeah, that setting has just kind of been ripped to shreds and just slapped back together in a completely different form. I should probably take some time and figure out where that's going to go. Like
I
I have
think
I
that
have
would
some
be really.
ideas, but I really need to cement them and put them together in a more cohesive fashion.
I think just taking that month off and just drafting good some outlines as to here are the main points you want to go, and having that sort of through line, and whenever you like divert from that outline, updating the outline as well to be like, okay, now I have to consider this, this, and this, this. That way you're never in a situation where it's like, oh, I don't know where to go from here. There's so much to consider. It's so overwhelming. I kind of have to refigure things out. So having that time is gonna be very important.
Yeah, and the other ones are actually fairly okay by comparison. Um, and then there's the commissions that are massively behind. One of them is just finishing out the last chapter of a story that has honestly been a bit of a nightmare to write in general, but you know, it's ending. I just need to put a cap on it, and I just haven't yet because of the other commission that I want to do first because they've been waiting longer, and I just can't get into the mental headspace of where I need to be to write it because it's all political bollocks, and I just don't feel that right now. I don't know.
Mm.
It's just a really like I've had it half finished for like a week and a half, and I just it's slowly coming together in bits, but it just
Sounds like you need like the right inspiration to go off of.
yeah, that doesn't work when paying you to write.
I mean, yeah, but if you are struggling to write because there's an element of I'm not in the mood for this, having something that can kind of get you in that mood helps.
Mm.
I I like I'm whenever I'm trying to write something, unless I can find like either a source of inspiration from something else or even just the right music to get my mind into that right space, I have a lot of difficulty actually going through it just because I'm trying to spawn it from the ether of like I need to write this. Um, I need to have it like, but it's not about what I'm gonna write, it's about how I'm gonna write it, you know? And kind of being like, okay, I can do this, this, and this, and I might actually be able to change this, you know, with some slight like improvements, I guess. 'Cause- But I'm not commissioned to write, so I don't know how much my perspective's really helping.
I don't know. I appreciate it regardless of just like yeah, just good to vent a little bit. Just everything is a
Yeah,
constant waking nightmare. Yay!
you need a mental reset. You need to be able to like focus on one thing at a time, outline some stuff, um, get some proper plans in place because you're always I think you're in like go 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 mode most of the time. And then when you're not in go 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 mode, you're beating yourself up because you're not in go 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 mode, and you should be in go 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 mode.
Hmm.
Um, you gotta have that time to be like, okay, how am I actually going to do this and like slow down the pace a little bit.
I second that emotion. A full reset, a vacation, would be something that would benefit you, speaking from first hand experience here. If you've been stuck in the grind for too long, completely unplugging for a little bit will help you more than you expect.
Hmm.
It's not even about like taking the whole month just to relax, but like being able to take out a pen and paper, um, go out, like go somewhere else, touch some grass, and sketch out an outline or a story plan.
It is the
when
middle
there's
of
no.
August. I'm not going anywhere, but I appreciate the sentiment.
It's the sentiment that matters here.
Yeah.
Which is like getting out of the crushing rush and being like, okay, there's no immediate time restriction here, but I'm not going to waste time. I'm just going to
On the mic.
take use of the amount. Sorry, I'm having to physically hold it right up to my mouth.
Yeah.
So, you need some rest, my friend.
Mm.
Trying to force it when you're stuck in a writer's block doesn't always result in your best work.
I would like to think it seldom does. At best, it'll be disappointing. At worst, nothing will come out. No, you know what? Reverse those two.
I always think if you're not liking what you're writing, how can you expect others to?
Yeah.
This is the the Casey intervention.
Yeah. So pivoting away from this, I started playing Kingdom Hearts 2 again. Just for some reason I decided to try modding it. I did that. It's neat. Adds a bunch of stuff that was cut content from the game. And by stuff I mean like items, and not like huge, gigantic bits of content that were left out, but it's just like some items and abilities and stuff that kind of scrapped because it wasn't working. Which, probably for a reason. And rearranges some of the my brain's sort of shone.
Kingdom Hearts.
Rebalances a lot of stuff of like how and when you get it. Like, I found out one of the most pivotal abilities in the game. Once more, very familiar with Kingdom Hearts will probably understand that one, is the ability where if an enemy is comboing you, they cannot kill you with a single combo, which is very, very important if you're playing critical. That comes after doing the final like gut check fight of the secret super dungeon. That's the only way to get that ability is to go there and get through all of it to get to the secret super boss sequence, the Data 13 stuff.
The Cavern of Remembrance.
Yep.
They hid that ability of all things in the Garden of Assemblage at the end of the Cavern of Remembrance.
Yep, that big white corridor where you fight
came up with that?
Where you fight like battles of like 100 nobodies at a time. Yep, that is where it was.
Whose idea was this?
The mod developer, I presume. But yeah, that was fun doing all of the other stuff in the game, like being like, oh god, I can't. I'm sure it's just gonna show up if I keep leveling, but I can't be asked to do level grinding, so I'm just gonna kind of brute force and slam my head against the wall until I get this done and do all the content, and then I can do level grinding. It's fine whenever I'd like to enjoy the content. And
so how'd that work
I
for
did
you?
all of the side stuff aside from like the super bosses and stuff. And I'm like, okay, I did do the super dungeon mostly, but I got to that white corridor and was like, I can't. It's not happening. I'm getting my shit rocked every single time, so I'm just gonna come back to this. And then after I did everything else and all the challenging content except for the super bosses, I come back, finish it, and there it is. It's like, that would have been really useful for a lot of the stuff that I just did.
Yeah, after you've completed almost the whole game without it. I mean, granted, it's nice to have it going up against Organization 13 in their hardest difficulty settings, but that's still really, really cheeky.
Well, it does actually do some interesting things with the balance. Like, it kind of makes magic viable as a combat option in the game, does the mod. So, like, if you jump and cast, then you will stay in the air for as long as you are casting, which is very nice.
That is nice.
So you can just jump and then just chain thunder over and over again until you are about to run out. So if you get your shit rocked and you're about to die, you can just jump and then double jump, and you're pretty much out of range of anything a boss would do, and then you just throw out all of the magic and then heal at the end, and that is usually a pretty effective tactic for getting rid of at least one, usually two health bars. So that's actually very neat, and I appreciate that, because in Kingdom Hearts 2 there is one tactic that is called sword. It's called Keyblade. Hit things.
Love hitting things. It's the best. It always works.
It is hit things and cast reflect. That is the entire combat function of Kingdom Hearts 2. And this kind of retools that and adds more options, and I really appreciate them. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
There is no such retooling mod for Birth by Sleep, so I'm gonna have to play that vanilla, and that's. But I am looking forward to 3, which does have like a revamped thing, and also has the Colosseum mod that I really. It's like that is the only game in the series, to my knowledge, that does not have a Colosseum of any kind, despite having a gigantic circular arena in Olympus.
Oh yeah.
Did you say Birth by Sleep?
I said I'm going to be playing Birth by Sleep, but I'm really looking forward to 3 because it has a revision mod and the arena mod.
Oh, I haven't even tried any 3 mods, but let me know how they are.
Yeah. That big, gigantic, empty space that you have the final boss battle in that just kind of sits there for the rest of the game. They built an arena there. Like, you know,
Good.
what was probably meant to happen in the until it took like 18 fucking years to make. And they decided, hey, we should probably finish this. Yeah, the modder put an arena there and has like a bunch of different content. Like, you can play as different characters. You can do all of the arena stuff from the first 2 games, as well as new stuff from the 3rd game. There's just a bunch of stuff that would be really cool to try, and
Nice.
I will report back when I get there, which will be months from now.
Okay, please do. I've not really tried much for like modding single player games, weirdly enough. Like, the only game that aside from like 14 that I've ever used mods in is Skyrim.
Oh, everyone modded Skyrim.
And everybody modded Skyrim. Which, do you see that Down the Rabbit Hole released a video about Skyrim mods?
No?
Yeah, they released a whole hour and a half long documentary about the unofficial Skyrim patch and the developers behind it and how that went. And oh boy.
Yeah.
Something to be said about when your unofficial patch starts changing core elements of the game because you consider them quote unquote bugs because they're not lore accurate.
I mean, you want to talk lore accurate? Dragon Shouts are supposed to be able to like rip apart mountains. So get on that terrain deformation, modders, I guess.
It's like, oh man, this is a patch meant to fix the bugs. Why are you adding in all these other extra things? Why are you adding in voice lines? Yeah.
Was that like a recent thing, or?
The documentary is a recent thing.
No,
but
I mean the
apparently
changes that went well above and beyond like bug fixing.
that's been going on for a long time. But they slipped them in so you didn't really necessarily notice because they just kept doing it until eventually people were noticing. And oh man. So
I mean,
yeah.
That's kind of a thing that tends to happen when you get into like fan creations and modifications of like you see it all the time in like translation projects. Like there was some fun ones in that whole scene of just like people deciding to take liberties of just like I've decided I'm gonna make a joke in this scene that doesn't have a joke and just completely ruin the tone. You know, no. Why would you? No.
But it's better. It's an improvement, isn't it?
Or the flagrant swearing that does not belong. Like, oh, I I remember reading scanlated One Piece and uh Fleet Admiral Sengoku saying, "Are you fucking kidding me?" like,
The like something I've noticed, it's not just like translations like that, but whenever I encounter writers like that who every character is just swearing like a sailor for no reason.
yeah, it's
Um,
it's very adolescent.
it comes off as adolescent, and it's also like nothing of value is being said here.
Yeah,
Genuinely, it's not purposeful writing.
yeah. You have to have a character that swears, and that is just a thing that they do, and it's just them being them. Or you have to have characters who know how to swear and do it very specifically for emphasis at certain times, and know when to not swear. like,
Yeah, or at least be creative in your swears. Like please, it's if you're going for comedy, don't just repeat what you see on TV, kids.
being fair, actually, that whole Sengoku example that I mentioned before did actually kind of make sense in the context of that scene.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for context, I think that was when it was like the government has decided all of the prisoners that were let out of level 6 of Impel Down, like the literal worst people in existence, that escaped. We've decided we're just not going to do anything about that, and we're not going to tell the public that they escaped. And that was Sengoku's reaction in the scanlated one. And that kind of, if there were ever a time that that character would swear, that feels pretty earned.
Agreed. Very, very much agreed.
But yeah, so that was the. It can get a bit silly. Liberties are taken that are not earned in the way that kind of was, but still also felt a little atonal for the story, not for the scene, I guess, is the way I would put that.
Yeah, it's like there's some series that with that, depending on the scene, total sense, but then there's some translation. Um, okay, let me bring up a very recent example, and this isn't about swearing necessarily. It's just about the translators taking something and running with it. In Chainsaw Man, um, recent, fairly recent chapter, Chainsaw Man Denji, he runs into or meets the Death Devil, basically the personification of the fear of death, um, who introduces herself as, oh, you can call me Death Chan, basically, right? Like an informal, close way. The translation goes, "You can call me Lil D."
That's
Lil D.
that's a choice. It's not the choice I would have made.
um, yeah.
Is is it an accurate gendered honorific, like, or
No.
is it a subversion?
It's like this is it's a female character who is calling herself as a like cuter informal version of death, and they go with little D.
I personally, if I was doing that, I would have gone with Miss Death or Little Miss Death or something,
Yeah, yeah, something. It's not sounding like you're a rapper.
or describing a insufficient penis.
Or describing an insufficient penis. Yeah.
Yeah, it's
So
uh, being fair though. Translation's a rough and awkward job. Like, I'm sure a lot of people do their best, and
hmm
like it's all about interpretation. Well, just from the start of this conversation when we were talking about mods as well, it's all about interpretation and what you think would make for the best understanding and just expression of this thing that you're doing. And that's because it's interpretation. Everyone has an interpretation, and everyone is going to call out your every decision. Like, I did, minutes ago. Uh, and like Zero did also approximately minutes ago. And it doesn't really matter whether it's like unofficial scanlations or just like the official ones that decide to... they're still doing it. They're still taking liberties and actually changing scripts in ways that make the story worse and make less sense.
I have little issue with creative liberties that are in like the trying to get across the same point that the author intended, right?
Yeah.
Because there's like
In that
jokes
sense,
that don't work.
it's still the person
There's-
doing their best. But sometimes...
Yeah. There's some people who got really upset. I remember back when Fire Emblem, it might have been Three Houses or one of the Fire Emblem games. It's always Fire Emblem.
Yeah.
Getting really upset over the translations being different and
I
it
think it was
changes the
Fates.
characterization. Fates, yeah. When I mean, to be honest, they did a really good job, and they released a fan translation patch of here's what they actually mean. And what it revealed was that the people who were complaining had no idea how to understand.
There was one egregious example in the official translation, which was a conversation with a character, and they were saying all this stuff in the Japanese version, and then in the English translation, it was all ellipsis. It was all just dead silence. And it's like, what? Why?
Yeah, that is the only one that stands out to my mind is like that one was actually egregious. But for the most part, it was typically fine. But the fan translation, if you've gone through it, is entirely like stilted and awkward and doesn't flow well or read right for like most of it. Because there's a lot of like idioms and jokes and puns and things that don't translate.
Yep.
And just straight up do not have a translation in many cases into English. So it's a messy business.
Yeah. And a more recent one is My Hero Academia for the anime last season, I think. I can't remember. It's during the vigilante stuff of like everything's gone to shit and people are paranoid and freaking out and just turning on each other all the time. And it has, I've forgotten her name, that one character that looks weird that everyone loves for some reason, just sort of the beastly woman. And she's getting harassed on the street, and Deku comes in and is like, hey, what the fuck are you doing? And they're like, oh, she's obviously a villain, just look at her. No one who looks like that could be a good person, or something like that, because, you know, heteromorphic work, she looks monstrous, quote unquote. It's like cutesy monster, but still, you know. And that is a very nice setup for what happens towards, you know, the middle of the arc, where basically the story decides to tackle racism, kind of. 'Cause,
Yeah.
you know, that's a whole thing. Heteromorphic quirks are treated like monsters because a lot of the time they look like monsters. And that is a very important like setup point, because it's not really a thing the story has touched on all that much up to this point. So it was really good to have that moment of establishing, yeah, people with heteromorphic quirks are treated pretty fucking shit. And in the translation, they decided to have it changed from look at her, no one who looks like that could be a good person, to just look at what she's wearing. She's obviously a villain, or something to that effect.
Which is entirely different.
That's not what that scene was supposed to represent. You have decided to make a completely different point from what the scene is actually trying to do. Also,
Yeah.
just look at what she's wearing is a weird thing. Like, why are they violently attacking her for what she's wearing?
They're the fashion police.
I guess. Yeah, that's an excuse thrown out there for sexual violence. It's a really bad excuse. let's not mince words. It's as if there was a good excuse, but like that's that's a line used for a completely different situation to make a completely different point that has nothing to do with this. It's like,
Oh yeah.
what are you fucking doing? I don't know. So,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
being fair, everything that translators do is based in interpretation of the source material. And
Mhm.
like I say, everyone has their own interpretations, and fans are generally going to be a little bit more informed in terms of what the story is trying to do, granted, because, fans, they're very, very much invested. And that means every interpretation that, whether official or unofficial, every interpretation they decide to make is going to be put under a fucking microscope. So people are always going to find the worst ones and pick them the fuck out and make them seem like the most offensive shit you could possibly imagine.
See, the difficult thing is you have a lot of fans who don't speak both languages, relying on machine translation to provide their quote unquote correct interpretation of what's supposed to mean. And that muddies the waters a lot. Because
Yeah.
I saw that a lot.
Mm,
Of like, this is what this actually means, says the machine translation.
yeah. That was a fun one of like the whole Black Myth Wukong thing of someone doing machine translation on what one of the devs said, and had some fun with that. Did the machine translation? That was really
Yeah,
stupid.
like, I know there was the whole removal of the dialogue saying in Fates, but in other Fire Emblem games that came after that, there were some, like, I know Three Houses people had machine translations at the ready and are like, this is wrong, and only to get refuted by people who were actually bilingual
Mm.
and be like, no, there's like, this is why this is right, and it's way harder to try to correct that and like explain it
There is a
to people
lot
who,
of nuance in terms of like translating between languages, especially when you like, especially when they don't even have the same alphabet, let alone the same like words. Like
yeah,
there is such a massive divide in terms of culture, in terms of like just sentence structure. Like
because some translations are done in a way in which um they like make it more suited for like a Western audience, right? Where it's not just we're not directly translating what this thing is. We're trying to get across these same sort of emotions or feelings that you would have, and so by doing that, we reinterpret the work through this lens. And well, that usually results in overall a much better, more well-received product. You'll have people crying in the corner being like, but that's not what the author wrote. That's not the exact thing.
yeah, and honestly, to again like I feel like I was fair about the whole MHA thing that I mentioned. Like like I
Hmm.
say, it was fucking wrong, but like everyone's gonna pick out the wrong thing and laugh at it or get really, 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 really angry about it. It's maybe a bit overblown, but
Yeah.
when it works, it works. Because if you go back to the start of My Hero Academia, where you have the subtitled version or the Japanese version, whichever you want to call it, with the quote unquote more accurate translations, you get him saying, "Oh, I dream of being a hero. It would be so fucking cool if I could be a hero." And then in the dub version, where they decided to make things a little bit more palatable for a Western audience, where just pie in the sky dreams and just like, oh man, wouldn't it be just sort of nice and just sort of daydreamy, and it would be cool. We not really a fan of that, especially in America, of just like, ooh, daydreaming instead of actually just trying to do it. If you want to do it, then do it. They
Yes.
have the dialogue be like, no, just because I have a quirk, that won't hold me back. I'm gonna do what it takes to be a hero. He doesn't, because that's the story, is that he doesn't actually, and he's just dreaming. But they have him talk like it's something he is actively pursuing,
Hmm.
rather than daydreaming about, because that is more palatable to a Western audience. And that people have problems with that as well. And if you want to talk about accuracy, yeah, it's not accurate, but it does work better for the audience it's aimed at. And I will give it credit on that, because honestly, I kind of prefer that version. Like,
Yeah.
it kind of makes him come off like he's deluding himself, but he's not just completely idle. He's doing something, even though like deep down he knows he's not actually trying. And I appreciate that as a character interpretation. I think that still really works for the character, and they did a really good job putting that together as an alternative that would work and be appreciated by Western audiences more than, oh, if only kind of thing, which, you know,
Yeah,
Japanese
exactly.
audiences like.
It's the dreamer versus the go-getter
Yeah.
sort of thing. I remember when I first saw the dub, and I was like, "Oh, okay, yeah, no, they made these changes to be able to appeal."
Yeah. And it works. So like I say, sometimes you take liberties and it's just a fucking swing and a miss. That doesn't... But sometimes you do it and it really works. And that's the nature of the business. You have to do interpretations for what the original is trying to do and what people will actually like in the market that you're actually catering to. And some people would say, hey, that's not your place to decide that. And they're kind of right, but they're also kind of wrong. It's a really awkward and sticky subject.
Man, translation's such a nuanced topic that, like, people are very quick to jump to, like, the original must be preserved at any cost. And, like, if it was in the original, you can understand it.
I mean, the original is preserved in its native language, in its most, you know, pure and pristine form that has not been translated in the slightest. If you want to read that version, the native language,
Yeah.
like, it doesn't cease to exist just because you can't read it. If you want it to be preserved, it's being preserved just fine, thanks.
But people just act like that, and it's like, oh my gosh. Yeah, no, translation.
It is a job I would love to do. It is a job I would, God, be terrified of doing.
I would like to learn Japanese. I went to a Japanese class in college, only to realize that I was in the second course, not the first. So I had to drop out of it. The indicator that I was in the second course and not the first was when I walked in, I sat down, and the teacher started speaking to us only in Japanese. And I was like, I think I'm in the wrong place. And I was right. I was in the wrong place. And like, oh no, we only do, this is the fall course. Right. No, this is the spring course. You need to be in the fall course. I'm like, oh, okay, thanks. That wasn't on the course list at all. But sure. And that's how I never learned Japanese.
There's always the online learning things that help. They won't actually teach you fully, but they'll help.
Yeah, I'll eventually want to learn that and some other languages just because expand my repertoire. I have to teach Latin, apparently.
What?
I have to teach Latin, apparently, at the school that I teach at. They want us to start teaching Latin.
Okay.
What that's going to amount to is playing a video that teaches some Latin and being like, hey, kids, I'm learning Latin too.
Yeah, pretty much. I guess it's useful in some circumstances. Like, you know, you're going to go into law or medicine. That's a useful language to have. Is just like be able to ballpark some things.
It's useful for understanding words.
Etymology as well, yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of the big use, but then also like certain documents that are historic are still only in Latin. I know there's translations that exist, but what if
We
those
just had a
translations go
whole
away?
conversation about interpretation and translation.
Exactly, right? So knowing that is a useful skill. So I guess I'll learn it. Then this will definitely not help me with Japanese, but you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, as someone who was taught two languages simultaneously, I remember none of them. So, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
All right.
That was a thing that we did in high school. It's like, hey, take French and Spanish for 3 years and then choose which one you want to learn at like GCSE qualification. And it's like, I have no foundation in either of these languages. No, thank you. I'm good. Because they are very similar languages, and you taught them to us at the exact same time. So I don't know which one is which anymore.
Yo recuerdo un poco español. I took 5 years of Spanish in high school, I remember, but not enough to have a conversation. Enough to vaguely make out what people are saying if I am around them.
Into the mic.
Sorry, my hand dropped slightly because I'm tired of holding this.
You know, you could rest the microphone and then just lean forward.
I could, but what I rested on, my surroundings are not allowing me to do that right now.
On your lap, and then you just sort of do the thinker pose with.
This is it on my lap.
Oh, okay.
This is it, me holding it 2 inches from my face.
Okay. I guess that's an episode. At least we managed to find some stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, hooray. I need to get back on my usual PC next week.
What weren't the direct stuffs that happened, or was that before?
There was a partner direct thing, an indie showcase thing. No, the partner direct happened before. There's another show. I don't know.
That really speaks to just how impactful it was. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough. We don't need to talk about
it
that.
It was not impactful. I was just like, I have to go to work to teach children, so I'll focus on that.
Yeah. I don't really have time for Zoom Golf Adventure or whatever indie game is coming out on the Switch. Who gives a shit?
Yeah. There's a new Honkai Star Rail patch, and that was really good. I'm liking the story that they're doing in Amphorius. It's probably their best. It is definitely their best one they've done yet. So, really happy about that. It's almost coming to an end. Like, this is the longest arc that they've done. It's double the length of every other planet. So, I had lots of time to pace it out and let things breathe and have some cool stuff. So, game's still good. I'm trying to catch up on Zonless still, but I've not had the free time or mental space to do things other than work on days in which I work.
We did Patreon last time, right?
Probably.
Yeah, it sounds like something we do. So that was like
No.
we didn't.
It was 2 weeks ago. It was before Patreon came through.
Oh, okay. Zero. I think you need to do the Patreon if you can. I don't know whether you can because you're not at your computer.
I can't right now because I have that data saved on my other computer.
Next week it is then.
Yes, apologies for the delay.
It happens.
Okay, let's go take a rest. You take a rest too, listeners.
Yeah,
take a rest.
I'm gonna go back to bed. Yeah.
Put down in the comments, I took a rest if you made it this far.
Feels like contradictory statements, but yeah. Discord, Patreon, links in the description.
Okay, bye.
Until next time.